Hello, my name is John, and welcome to the Through the Eyes of George YouTube channel. Today, what we're going to be talking about is a follow-up video to my last video about why George Washington is so important today. And the main thing in this video that I want to talk about is why don't we consistently hear about the things that George Washington is remembered for, like the honor, the dignity, the civility, the etiquette. Yes, George Washington wrote down the rules of civility and decent behavior. And yes, people could say, oh, that's an old way of thinking. That's from the 1700s. You're right, it is. But in more detail, we have Emily Poe's Guide to Etiquette. Look how thick this book is. It has a lot more detail about things like communicating through technology, marriage ceremonies, relationships, writing letters, interviews, all kinds of things that are in more detail for today's culture. We don't have to talk about George Washington, but George Washington is remembered for the civility and the etiquette and the chivalry and all of those things. And people say, oh yeah, chivalry is dead. Well, chivalry is not dead. It's people choosing to not have a standard for relationships, for living, for anything. And sometimes, yes, people don't know something, so they can't do something. So if you know etiquette or civility or courteousness or duty, honor, faithfulness, commitment, all of those things, then share those things with other people. People don't, and they should not, learn anything, whether it's math or science, God's Word, engineering, anything that deals with technology or anything about anything, just to be puffed up in their mind or to be egotistical. We don't know civility and etiquette or the things that George Washington is known for just to be puffed up. We learn these things, whatever it is, math, science, God's Word, engineering, to share it with other people so they can grow and to learn, to have discipline. And discipline isn't a bad thing. If you could boil this video down into one thing, it's having discipline is a good thing. And in a quote from John Maxwell's book, How Successful People Grow, on page 43, John Maxwell writes, "Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments." Let me read that again. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments, and that bridge must be crossed every day. Over time, that daily crossing, our goal sometimes might not be reached overnight. Sometimes it may, but over time, that daily crossing becomes a habit, and ultimately, people do not decide their future. They decide their habits, and their habits decide their future. Like I said, that's on page 43 of How Successful People Grow. People have to want a standard in life, and we don't share these things about having discipline or civility just to be puffed up. We share these things so that people can renew their minds to that thing and become a new creature, to be a new person mentally or emotionally or physically or whatever it may be. And a new creature in that thing in whatever they're learning, mentally, emotionally, physically, all of those things. And the reason why George Washington was so great is because he had such a standard for his life. He had many things. If you read his correspondence and letters, he had many mental things that he thought about that gave him anguish. Some of his friends betrayed him. He had some deaths in the family. We go through those things in life throughout our lives. Those things may happen. We have mental anguish. We have tribulation. But in having mental anguish and tribulation in our lives, we don't stop and say, woe is me, for the rest of our lives. That's not good discipline. We can think about our things that are setting us back and move forward. that discipline, that daily crossing every day, being quick to listen and slow to speak, treating others as you would want to be treated. That's what George Washington would want to be remembered for, is if we went to that Emily Post Guide to Etiquette rather than his Rules of Civility, George Washington would rather not be remembered for the things that he did, but to take the things that he did and grow with them and build on the things that he did to have a better life. Because remember, he turned down being commander-in-chief of the Continental Army. He turned down being the president of the United States at least once. But he accepted it because of duty, because of honor, because of dignity. So I just thank you for watching this video. I just encourage you to look up some of John Maxwell's books, or a life coach, or things about how to have a self-help book, or I encourage you to read a self-help book of some kind. You don't have to read 20 of them, but something that fits you and your lifestyle and in the things that you like. But thank you for watching this video, and looking forward to talking to you soon. And again, thank you to all of my subscribers, and thank you for sharing this video if you choose to. And yeah, have a great day. Thank you.